Hey, it's Jabbo. Welcome to BrickTsar, your home for the A-Team. Got two versions of the A-Team here. We got our custom vintage A-Team truck. I need to make another one of these. I got some non-vintage parts on the top though. And we're wearing the A-Team shirt that Stephen Van Trite sent us in the last video. And you get it? The A-Team. What's up, A-Team? So where was this thing at? It was over here. So thank you, Steve. So I didn't waste any time. I wore it the next day, but sadly I can't wear it on this channel again the rest of the year. And I don't have any other A-Team thing to talk about, but this is, in Canada they say a lot. It's their thing. Like here in the South we say y'all more than probably other people. We also say fixin'. And I always tell the story of when I was in the first grade. I was writing a story. Maybe it was second grade. It was very young. My mom taught me how to read before I went to school. But I didn't know how to spell fixin'. I'm like, how do you spell fixin'? Does that end with a G? Like F-I-X-I-N-G? No, fixin' is F-I-X-I-N. Is that even a word? So I don't think so. Oh, there's my cutters. I don't have Lamar's cutters. I got the old good cutters. So I got a haul that I'm going to do. And why was I holding this They Might Be Giants album? So sometimes people leave a comment on a video. Sometimes it's an old video, and it spurs a lot of discussion. Usually don't get the discussion, so to speak, on an old video unless it's about Lepin and they think you're supporting Lepin, or they think you're against Lepin and it's the same video. It's weird. But there's an old video about Lego store build. I think it was the Pink Flamingo. I don't know how somebody found that video here in 2021, but they said no, and they proceeded to reply like 10 times with the same thing, no. So I said, I guess they're big fans of the They Might Be Giants album. No, it's actually a pretty good album. It's got Fibber Island. If you don't know Fibber Island was the song that I used, and They Might Be Giants gets all the royalties from that video. But we did a mock at Brick Fair, Alabama in 2020, right before COVID struck. But I built my own version. It was pretty sad. I should do it on a grand scale, Fibber Island. If I ever made a big mock, I should make a bigger mock of Fibber Island. Something I could put in my city or something, but that's on here. And what else? What are the good songs? Violin. Oh, Violin, Lynn, that's a good song. The Edison Museum's a good song. Clap Your Hands. So I do have a video on one of my channels. I'll have to go look it up. But when They Might Be Bricks, Jacob was very small, and Sarah, my daughter, they were singing or doing the clap your hands, stomp your feet, jump up in the air. When it got to jump up in the air, there was an accident. The video quality is really bad because we're filming probably on a VHS camera. Or maybe it was a cheap digital camera. The quality's low. The audio is bad. But yeah, that's from this album. When did this album come out? This album is older than I thought then. And you're older than you've ever been. Is that on here? No. It's got to be pretty old. 2002, yeah. So, but yes, boy, I got sidetracked with that. So you leave a comment. Sometimes people leave a comment and it encourages discussion. And I had such a comment recently, and it was from Dirty Dennis. I think that's how you say it. Dirty Dennis asked, what is vintage with Lego? And so with collectibles and antiques, you have, we use that, like you go to an antique mall, not everything in there is antique. There's modern stuff, there's vintage stuff, and then there's truly antique. So there's there's probably official like descriptions of what is antique. And this kind of ties into what I was talking about in the last video, talking about the golden era of Lego. But what would you call an antique? because really nothing Lego is truly not, well, antique. Vintage. What would you call vintage? I don't know if anything is antique. Maybe the wooden toys you might call antique. Vintage, a lot of us use that term, and we may be talking about something that's really not that old. Some have said like at least over 20 years old. So that would pretty much mean, don't really call anything from the 2000 era vintage, although I did see the Brick Show call a set that at the time was about 5 years old vintage. I also see people regularly calling sets that were pretty common, they call them rare because they're 30 years old, and yes, there are less of them for sale now on eBay and Bricklink, but they definitely weren't rare. It'd be like the tipper truck. All right, so the tipper truck, you might not find, you might find 3 or 4 of them at any one time on eBay. The tipper truck is not rare. For me to have 125 of them, that's pretty evident that the tipper truck is not rare, but somebody will say, oh, it's rare. But, so I know I'm getting sidetracked, differentiating. So I think vintage sets are less common to find. I don't necessarily mean that they are rare. But so I would say anything from before the turn of the century is vintage. Although I too have probably called things vintage that were from the early 2000s. So I don't know. So it can spur a discussion. And I don't think there's any wrong or right answer. I don't think people are being intentionally deceptive if they say vintage. And another reason this question stands out to me is because one of the searches I do on eBay all the time is vintage Lego. I do that. And I also do it on Goodwill, but usually Goodwill, they don't tend to use that word vintage very much, so it doesn't usually pull up many results. But on Lego searches on eBay, I'll put vintage Lego, and it pulls up stuff. There are a lot of people that use that term for things that are clearly pretty modern. But it does filter out a lot of stuff. So you're getting down to where you're not scrolling through so many listings. I wish there was a way, like a standard that people knew, like the common person that's somebody who's not familiar with Lego. They know if I put vintage, somebody's going to be looking for this. Because I think a lot of people don't know when they're listing things, they don't know how to describe it in a way that gets the right search results where they can get a higher price for their auction. So yeah, it was a really good discussion. It led to some discussion on his comment. And so you tell me in the comments below, what is vintage, eh? Thank you again, Stephen, for the shirt. So let's do the haul. The haul is the least interesting part of this. And this is from Lego.com. Which we call Shop at Home. And it's not vintage then. It's not vintage. It is not vintage. So, my son Jacob, speaking of Jacob, who fell, and clap your hands, he wanted a figure, which was this one. It is the Nightmare Batman. So that was the dream sequence in Justice League, I think, the Nightmare. So this is 853744, the little battle pack that you could get, still available from Lego Shop at Home. With this Snyder cut coming out, I went ahead and got enough. I was just going to buy one, but I was like, well, and it's not that great a part out value or anything. So, but I want to get that figure and have plenty of them just in case. And I wanted to get up to the amount to get the free Amy Adams Battle Pack. So that is good. Now I'm going to cut this box down to size. I keep these boxes, I don't think I'll talk about this much, but these Lego shipping boxes, they usually come in pretty good condition. And they are good for when I sell things on eBay. I can have something to put in a box. Like if I got a bunch of non-Lego related stuff I need to sell, especially the comic books. But yeah, that's what I got. Batman, the Nightmare Batman. So I'm going to take that up and give it to Jacob, he's not here right now. He's over doing some yard maintenance at his grandparents'. So thank you for doing that, Jacob. But I will, I'll give this to him, and I'll keep all these for myself and not tell him I got them. So don't tell him I bought all this. And now I got 3. So I bought 1 to build, 1 to keep, and now I got a 3rd extra one. Yeah, that's really nice. And that promo, the day I'm filming this, the promo is still available. So it's amazing how long that one lasted. It's a pretty good promo, I think. Good job, Lego. I know I complain a lot about things, but this one, good job. And I am done with this video. I will be back tomorrow in a different t-shirt. What will it be, eh?